Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm joined by Joe Hulbert and a tired man, Manny the Hooper. Your mic is still on mute, Manny, if you want to take that off. And yeah, man, we're gonna talk the past few days in wrestling, even though it hasn't been too exciting. I guess the World Cup's been on, stuff like that. There's been some more Regal news. I want to talk a bit more about the WrestlePurists Awards that we're doing on the website and stuff. We'll do that a bit later on. But I'll be polite like always am. Joe,
Yeah.
how are you doing today, mate?
I'm good. You didn't mention the AEW Rampage recap that we were going to do here. Remember, you said that was a thing you wanted to do each week. You wanted to do like a breakdown. You said it would take
I'm here.
maybe 2-3 hours each week. We could kind of go through it segment by
Oh,
segment.
we ain't got that much time. We ain't got
We
that much
don't?
time. We can do it. We can do it, but we ain't got that much time.
Well, Joe, me and Monty been talking in the DMs about doing our first ever post show, a weekly post show,
Rampage?
and it's for NXT.
This is not true because I know that our friend Monty he's fallen off of NXT. Fake fan, threw it in when it looked good.
No, we noticed that there is like a big gap in the market on NXT coverage.
Fair.
Define gap, but I'm good anyway, Monty. Very good. Definitely didn't all enter this StreamYard and say, "Oh my god, we're tired," like all at the same time, which was definitely a good sign of the podcast. That's not a thing we did. So I'm fired up. I'm Regal to talk about awards. You know, I love me some awards talk. I did a 24-hour stream and brought it up every fucking hour. So much to discuss, Monty. How are you?
I'm here. Here to talk wrestling for the next fucking hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna stretch this out, and we're here.
Stretch this out.
But yeah, it ain't been the most wild weekend in wrestling. You never know. We could end up stumbling on a subject and just go with it. So
I'm sure.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, Manny also joining us. How are you, brother?
I'm very tired. I started watching Criminal Minds, but like a psychopath, like the show. I started watching it from backwards, and it gets annoying.
I can imagine.
Because then I realized the first episode is always a cliffhanger from the first season, the season before. So I noticed I'm in a pickle. So I go back and rewatch the season before its final episode, so I can know what's going on in the current season that I'm watching. My work is acting like
watching it in order. Did that cross your mind, or did you just?
Well, I watched the first 6 seasons before, and then I realized. And I think nothing can beat the first 6 seasons, so I jumped in at season 12.
Go yeah. Carry on. Sorry, man.
My work is acting like the cartel, and besides that,
big stream.
Besides that, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. It's whatever. Good, I guess. Fair enough. Monty, you okay over there, mate? Folks, Monty's a little bit poorly. Keep that in mind with your super chat donations and likes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, all that good stuff.
He's struggling a little bit. Trying his best, aren't you, mate? Trying your best.
Yeah. All the likes, all the subscriptions on this video,
they help, man.
It will help me get better,
Yeah. That's why I was ill for fucking 3 weeks, and we don't get any of those over in the late night grin,
Yeah.
Just have to wait.
Just gotta wait it out. Yeah. You got Streamlabs,
I'm just playing.
You got Streamlabs. We need a Streamlabs link, to be honest.
Yeah. You can forget about it like I do mine.
These big percentages that YouTube take off us for these super chats. It's ridiculous, Ben Dixon, $5. Appreciate you.
He's getting better already.
A Rampage main evented by QT Marshall featuring Jeff Jarrett getting the lowest rating and demo ever since the universe taking a shot at Hulbert. I mean, it was quite aggressive,
Yes, true. Another confirmation of the longest running truth in wrestling media, which is that if I had my ideal wrestling show, no one would watch it. This show kind of proved that in some way. However, I don't think the finger can be, solely pointed at me, believe it or not, on this one. Look, I know that Manny's about to push back on this, but I am not the one who battled for Cole Carter to have the opening match slot. I also, while I like QT Marshall very much, did not ask for him to do a lumberjack main event with Orange Cassidy for the Atlantic title. Now, if it was QT versus Eddie Kingston, I'd have to take the brunt of this. This is to be on me, it is what it is. Double J, I mean, I haven't checked the quarter hours, brother, but they must just not advertise it well enough. He's a big time star. He was in World Championship Wrestling once. When it died, he was there. So,
well, I mean, like
NWA World Champion,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like you can just compare Jeff Jarrett to LeBron James on this show. It's kind of hard to carry the whole team.
I often do make that comparison. What about his
fair?
What about his stroke lethal injection combo maneuver with Jay Lethal? What did you make of that? Where he just sort of just kneels a little bit and fucking.
Well, I wish I can show y'all, but I have it hanging up there next to my D Wade and LeBron alley-oop infamous photo.
Very good. It wasn't him walking out, like getting in the Gun Club's face was funny though. Like legitimately funny. That's such a weird act. What an insane heel team that is. They've just jammed together there. I don't know.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I didn't even watch any of this shit. So I mean,
well, it seems like not a lot of people did. If you look at the rating, 0.08 for the Rampage on Friday. I think it was like 380,000 viewers or something like that.
All I know is that FTR might wrestle Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and the Gun Club at a final battle. Huge step down.
Rampage, it has been discussed a lot, so I don't want to dwell on it because at some point you just have to go, okay, look, this is what it is. There's no point whining. It's like you're going in circles at some point. But, man, that has definitely been one of the stories of this year. Now, here's the thing. It's not nearly one of the big stories. I mean, this year has been jam-packed with big ones. But it is easy to forget what Rampage looked like in the early months of this year. I vividly remember a stretch when Swerve and Our Glory were opposite Team Taz, and they were kind of the centerpiece of Rampage for a couple weeks at least. And it felt like they were having hot matches on that show, and like, look, Rampage has always been kind of divisive because it is a little bit more understated than Dynamite, which is all action, obviously. But for a while, I thought Rampage was like the best show in a weird way. I thought it was a really strong show. Those days are long gone now. It now feels like what we would want a Dark or Elevation to be, honestly. Rather than being things on TV. So
it's tough. It's weird as well because go on, man. Go on.
Rampage feels like something we would want the NWA to be.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Rampage is it's like there's times where like Joe says, like you just want to you just accept it for what it is. Like it's not even like it's barely a B show. It's more like it's just like one of the C shows that happens to be on TV. Right. Then Tony will randomly put a bit of heart and soul into one of them. So say for example, Shibata versus fucking Orange, that was on Rampage. The Eddie John tag match was on Rampage. So it's like I don't know. It's like anytime I'll come to like accepting that it's just this shitty show that I'm probably not going to bother watching, he'll put some effort into one, and then 2 weeks later it will slip back into the kind of like the shows that we got last week, and it's it's not even like you want to dig out the talent that are on the shows, man. But it's just
I thought the show was honestly, I did not think the show was bad at all. But the problem is not it's not the quality of the show. It's more like, well, of course it didn't rate well.
Yeah, there's nothing to grip anyone. Yeah, there's nothing to like pull anyone in. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing that like you're gonna stay and watch for the hour for. And I know it's only an hour, and it's not like holding someone for a 3-hour Monday Night Raw or even a 2-hour Dynamite. But at the same time, people still need that hook, and it's like there just hasn't really been one like QT Marshall versus Orange Cassidy, whether it's a lumberjack match, a cage match, or fucking anything. That isn't the sort of match that if you miss it, you're really gonna catch up on it, because the likelihood of that being something that people remember is,
one
not
of
very
the big
high.
kind of like mini projects that I would like someone to ask about on one of these conference calls is that weird like month or two where Rampage was live. And everyone kept asking in the months leading up to it why Rampage was going to be live consistently for like a month, 2 months. And in the end, other than the one with Shibata, which ironically I was there for, most of those Rampages were not like more loaded than usual, And they were like their own shows. It was like, why did they even do this? What was the point of that little run where it was live? Like, because the thing with the live deal is that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where people used to say the live shows do better. And it's like, yeah, they do better because they've got better lineups. this last run, they didn't do better particularly because they didn't really have better lineups. I mean, some of those live lineups were terrible, I thought. Again, terrible relative.
Raw
You know?
people.
It was kind of crazy, right? Some of those. So,
No.
go ahead, Benny.
I thought it was like I said, I didn't watch the show, but I saw like the Malachi Black House of Black beatdown. I thought that shit was so crazy because like everybody knows the biggest story right now going on in your company is the fucking all out fight, bro. And then you're over here making an angle out of your EVPs being incompetent because Malachi Black was just like, yeah, you work for guys that are a small part of like a big problem of this company. So it's just like, why would you even try to make an angle out of that?
Wait, what? When did he say that? Did I miss this? What happened?
It was like in a YouTube exclusive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they went off the air with them like just beating everyone up. One thing that was weird was Ortiz. They grabbed Ortiz to do their finish on him, and Malachi was like, not him. And then Malachi just like beating the shit out of Ortiz like 30 seconds later. So I didn't know what happened there. That was strange.
Well, come on, we're building to an Eddie Kingston and Buddy Matthews match.
I mean, that's fine. I didn't understand why he then started beating Ortiz up after a minute ago. I didn't understand that, but they didn't edit it out, so I assume that was intentional. I don't know.
Yeah, we got another super chat. Mad King, did anyone notice that Mordecai was a lumberjack?
Yes.
I don't even know who
I didn't, but Twitter did.
The Excalibur did share out, I'm pretty sure.
Did it?
Much to Jim Ross's delight.
I don't listen to him, so yeah. Anyway, bam, $5. Do you all want Max to wrestle more, or should he stay doing what he is doing? After this 7-game series, going to need a singles match with Omega soon.
I prefer Max just go to the WWE.
Wow, strong take. I respect it. I totally get why they're gonna pull back on him wrestling, because I think the idea is like, if he wrestles too much, you play into how much the audience likes him. But I personally would like to see him wrestle more. Yeah, I actually think, and I know people would cheer it. I think a nice target would be he just does a monthly title defense. I mean, that'd be fine, and it wouldn't be too much by any means, right?
I was going to say Moxley was just defending it every other week, so
right. But like, if you did like, so for example, if so he's going to wrestle Ricky next week, and then say like he does one at New Year's Smash. He does one like you just shoot for like a monthly TV title defense alongside your pay-per-view defenses. I think that would go a long way to keeping things fresh, because he would have new feuds consistently. It wouldn't be too much where you're overexposing him. I think that's like once a month is fine, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with that, but at the same time, I know fucking MJF is gonna cheat, like he's gonna cheat against Ricky, and it's gonna piss me off every time it happens.
Oh, Manny getting shoot mad at Hill's cheating rules, just angry about it. Heated.
No, I mean, I don't mind if they cheat like against someone like fucking John Moxley or like Kenny Omega, but if you have to cheat to beat Ricky Starks or like Ethan Page, then we should really evaluate ourselves.
I understand.
And say, are you gonna be a Miz, or are you gonna be a Ric Flair?
Now,
Ric Flair cheated all the time too, but
yeah, I was gonna say,
but yeah, good
Ric
match.
Flair who never ever won clean. To put Bam's kind of the piece of his comment together, I think we were asking the other day on the 24-hour stream, like, what's Max's biggest match as champ? And we actually concluded it is a singles match with Kenny Omega. We thought that was because that's a weird match that you haven't really considered. They've both been there the whole time, right? They haven't crossed paths. Kenny as a babyface singles and kind of a legend in the promotion, not kind of a legend in the promotion. That's an intriguing pay-per-view match, I think. MJF's an interesting line where it's like he's an interesting champion where it's like he has a bunch of matches that I think are awesome TV main events. I can name like 15 to 20. Now, pay-per-view main events, I think there's a lot fewer selections, I think. Kenny's an obvious one.
I just struggle with that in AEW in general, to be honest. It's like I can think of like, it's like, like, whether you got Punk or not, it's just kind of like, they're not exactly on fire at the moment, to say the least, And when I look at it, I just can't see anything there's feuds and there's fantasy matchups that you can book, but there's nothing that I think is going to be like,
box
oh
office.
my god, that's gonna get the promotion heated up, and etc., etc. I don't know, man. Like the MJF reign, I'll happily get proven wrong, but I'm fearing the worst. Honestly,
You think this reign's gonna be bad? You just do, right? That's where you're at right now.
I've just got a bad feeling, bro. Got a bad feeling.
I hope he doesn't prove me right or prove me wrong. I want to prove me right.
You want it to suck. You want him to just go to WWE as a failure.
No, I want him. There's only so much I can handle going the year of 2024. Like, bro, shut the fuck up,
Yeah,
bro.
someone needs to put him to the side about that shit.
Yeah,
bro. I don't give a fuck about you or going to WWE. I just want you to go out there and have like a good promo, bro. Because I gotta watch this shit on the stream. So
well, the one thing I'll say is, I don't like the 2024 bit. I thought it was kind of insane that he did that in a segment where a guy was actually leaving to go to WWE. You know, I thought that was like someone should have told him this was not the segment for that. And I'm sure there's someone would explain it as like there's like a long-term story there potentially. No, I thought that was nuts because to the normal fan watches AEW's product, it's like Regal's one of the main characters and he's leaving. Don't like advertise that you may also in the same segment where you're writing him off. It's just it looks bad, you know.
Yeah, it's just nuts to me. It's like I was saying just before we came live. It's like it's quite crazy. It's like Meltzer kind of alluded to it when the angle first happened, and he was talking about putting all this heat on someone that's leaving. But it's like their whole big angle at the moment, which I'm assuming is going to be Bryan Danielson chasing MJF for the title.
Yeah.
Their like big angle revolves around someone who's literally left for the WWE, and everyone knows it. You know what I mean? Like it's 2022, a lot of fans are tapped in, and even the ones that aren't tapped in, like we are on Twitter, they at least know they at least probably know that by now. Do you know what
figure
I mean?
it out soon enough too. Yeah,
that's what I mean. So I don't know, man.
I know the custom belt was to get heat because it's like WWE, you know, get the custom belt. I don't know. I think that stuff is stupid, and then also the what was it?
Well, the belt didn't look. The problem with the belt bit was it didn't look nearly like different enough for the
colours didn't pop enough on the leather.
No.
That's what it was.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it was
really mad, you know. And it's like, why would we be mad? It looks, you know, it's the same.
Like the one thing the thing that irks me with like MGF is that you hear people say like, oh, the people that talk to him privately, like, oh, this guy knows the business, he understands it, like he's really smart when it comes to like he has a great mind for wrestling. It's like, bro, the only times I've seen it was against Punk when he made like that crazy angle they did for the go home show for Revolution where they had him hanging by the dog collar, and I'm sure that was mostly more Punk than MJF, and then maybe some of the Regal stuff that they did in the beginning where I was oh yeah, I think he gets it, but I don't think I've seen it like consistently.
The Wardlow stuff, I think he deserves credit for. A lot of credit. Especially now, looking back. Because the Wardlow stuff since Wardlow went away from MJF has been very different to what it looked like when MJF was in the center of it. Like, I don't know, man. Well, you know, the program where he had he was paying big guys to come in and the way he would sell for Wardlow, like facially and you know, the stuff with the cage match with Spears where he was a special guest referee. Like, I don't know, man. I think Max is brilliant in terms of his wrestling brain. I think sometimes, and this happens to a lot of guys, this is just my personal read on it. I don't know, obviously, I don't know the guy, but sometimes to me, I think he gets a little bit stuck in like the modern way to get heat. Like, I absolutely think that in his mind, doing a promo that was aggressively long and redundant, and went over the same things over and over, repetitive, to him, that's like the modern way to get heat. And I just think that mindset and that thought process is kind of like to me, that's very dangerous. Because basically what you're saying is let's do bad things. Let's have bad segments so the crowd will not like them. And that is, man, you got to be careful with that shit. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. So
okay, I see some of the comments and saying that the Cody feud was good too, and like the Jericho feud. Okay, yeah, you guys are naming some other good, great wrestlers. You know, that could have easily.
Bro, let's be fair though. Cody's feud.
Oh yeah, Cody. Yeah.
I mean, I love Cody. Monty, you love him even more than me, but it's like his AEW feuds were fucking up and down, man. Like they had some weird rhythm to them.
So all I'm asking is for somebody for MJF to have a feud, and that's really great. Besides the Warlow one, where it's like you can tell it's him dictating what's going on, because like all these other good feuds he's in was just like been with other great wrestlers, so it's kind of easy to tell. Like, well, this guy probably came up with most of it.
I just think, like, to me anyway, most of the pay-per-views he's been on in the last couple of years, he's had like one of, if not the hottest build almost every time. And I'm not a big Max fan or anything, but like I think that's kind of undeniable. Like, Full Gear, him and Moxley was obviously the main story there. That kind of went without saying at the last one. Double or Nothing, him and Wardlow was the hottest thing on TV going into the pay-per-view by far. Like, I thought easily so. Revolution, him and Punk, same thing. Full Gear, him and Darby, not quite, but they still had a hot program going on,
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I think his track record's kind of prolific in that regard.
Yeah. It's just, he has his flaws, and
Sure.
And he's the top guy in the company now. So it's like, they're going to get highlighted, and he'll either iron them out, and he'll grow as a performer, and he'll become even greater as a top heel guy, or he'll he'll get scary.
Oh.
Anyway, we got a super chat.
I know.
199.
One more thing about this, bro.
Well, let me pull up the super chat, brother.
Man, he's heated, bro.
Plethora 1C 199. Is Jeff Jarrett and Jericho in the top 3 heels? This is one Joe Hall, but I love because it's kind of like a depth chart question,
Jeff is not in the top 3. He and Jay.
Who would you say he's third? Because I'd say it's pretty clearly MJF, Jericho. Who's third?
Samoa Joe.
Probably.
Jericho's not a heel to me, but
Jericho is
Jericho's blatantly a heel.
Not to me. He's a face. Man. He revived ROH.
I've heard that. Yeah. We'll see about that, but yeah, I understand. I would say it's Joe. Honestly, because Joe's
it probably is now, isn't it?
Bro, I'll be real. Yeah. I don't know if the Juice Robinson match is going to surprise me. Samoa Joe's my favorite wrestler ever. I had like an emotional outburst when Juice Robinson called out Sam. I was like, "Why are we doing? Who for?" Like if it's not, pop. Maybe it will. I can't imagine it. Maybe that's my problem. I like Juice because it's not a problem with Juice, but it's like, where does that come from? Like, what? Because I'm not saying in a story way, but I don't care about the story. I'm just saying, like, some matches are natural, right? Like Darby and Joe is like, that's perfect. I got it. I know what that's going to look like. But Juice Robinson, Samoa Joe at Final Battle is so like left field to me, man. I don't know.
Imagine Tony. I can just picture Tony.
What?
Whoa. Yeah.
Juice on Final Battle.
Yeah, he called it out on Rampage, bro.
No, I thought it would just be for a match. Oh shoot! So I thought he was gonna. So he's not facing Wardlow Final Battle.
No. They agree with us that would be weird and did something even weirder. It's so strange.
Bro, I thought when you was talking about then, I thought it was going to be like, all right, Samoa Joe versus Juice Wednesday or Friday. You get me?
No, Darby's Wednesday. Darby Allin, you heard of him? Pillar. Go with Sting.
Okay,
that's Wednesday. That's
Wednesday. So he's facing Juice at fucking Final Battle, bro. So what's Wardlow doing?
I don't know.
I mean, he's brother. He doesn't work ROH.
It's like
people are asking in the chat, like I didn't know, like bro, it's insane. I'd rather I didn't.
Do you think there's a chance that Tony's bit is going to be that Joe's like a babyface in Ring of Honor and a heel in AEW? Because there's no way that crowd in Texas that was brought here for Final Battle is going to be like, "Go Juice, get him!"
No, bro.
No way, bro.
I really just got the tickets so I can watch Samoa Joe. He's one of my guys that wanted to check off the bucket list, bro. I don't give a fuck. I was going to cheer no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
I just always wanted. I want to be in the crowd, being like, Joe's gonna kill you. I want to be a part of that,
match, bro. The Derby match, it ain't gonna be like a 5-star match, but they're gonna go like 12 minutes, and it's gonna be, there's gonna be a couple brilliant, genius spots in there. Like,
but Joe's not gonna have to move a lot, and his offense is gonna look absolutely brutal on Darby. Darby's gonna run around, ping around, bounce off the floor, and do all this Derby stuff. It'll be amazing. It'll be great. It'll be
What
a
about
good
when
time.
running back elbow on AR Fox, and AR Fox just like sailed into the ropes, like just fucking flew.
Yeah.
Great
He
performance.
almost landed on his neck. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
he did everything he could to, but every single bump looked incredible for Joe. He did a great job, man.
I want to bring this up about Tony Khan booking, how weird it is booking like Juice Robinson and him being in his version of like the Apex Center, and he has this whiteboard full of like the wrestlers like Dana has with all the fighters, and he's just like walking around in circles, like, man, what can I do? And like he's spinning around in his chair. He's asking the booking committee. He's like, man, he looks at QT. What should I do, man? What should I do for
booking committee?
He's got QT. Yeah. What are you talking about? He's just sitting there, just like then he gets darts and just starts throwing them at the wall. It's like, and he just got landed on Juice. Like, that's what we're gonna do, brothers.
It's fascinating, like genuinely intriguing to me that AEW TV had so much Ring of Honor content that people got mad about it, but they've still managed to reach the pay-per-view without feeling like they have any momentum for it. Like they were on TV all that time, and it feels like none of the matches have any juice at all to me. It's like, fuck, man.
It's impressive how they pull it off, bro. Let me tell you.
It is strange, yeah. I agree.
Quick couple more super chats. Darren Walker, £2. Always appreciate it. MJF versus Darby, best opener in AEW pay-per-view history. It's certainly one of them. What else is up there?
I actually thought the last one was really, really good. The cage match. I thought Eddie and Miro was a great one. Eddie and Jericho was a great one. I don't have any of these better than that one.
I'd probably go with Eddie and Jericho.
Eddie and Jericho probably my pick, but we're both stands, you know.
Me too. I'll go with that one. Freaking open with the high angle suplex.
Yeah, that was good. But that match is awesome, though, Darren. You're right. That show was that's a really fun show.
Awesome. Ben Dixon, $4. MJF is obviously talented, but when he says I want to cosplay Triple H, cosplaying Shane Douglas for 17 minutes, someone backstage just needs to say no. Oh yeah, that's the thing with MJF. Sometimes he's, you need an old head that isn't
maybe an English guy who could like manage him.
Well, maybe we should stop talking about MJF because then he's gonna use this fucking material for a promo, and I'm gonna lose it.
That'd be pretty funny, though. If you know watching it on Twitch and he was like, those pieces of shit, WrestlePurists. We would pop out. We'd be excited, man.
There's going to be another hole in this wall.
Fair. There you go.
Apparently one of the boys showed him one of our podcasts before.
Sorry to hear
that.
Yeah. What do you, anyway. Now I need to know what he say.
It fucking sucked, probably.
No, I'll say after.
I bet you will.
Okay. Heart editing $4.99. Hi lads, I'm still at work. Hope the podcast is going well. Heart, you're the man. Our graphic design thumbnail guy sometimes. Yeah, he's a good
going
guy.
well, isn't it?
What?
This podcast. Imagine how bad it would be if Heart like watching it back later. It's like, fuck, I sent this in this podcast. I think going well. Oh, it sucks. It's going
I saw one comment earlier. I don't know if it's going well.
No, I don't care if it sucks anymore. WrestlePurists Worldwide.
Supposed to be bad, actually, Monty. I'm
here just to talk to my guys. Manny and Joe. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Should we talk about Regal then? Let's talk about Regal because obviously we spoke about Regal a lot. I'm sure you have as well, Joe, especially doing a 24-hour stream over the weekend.
Time or two, yeah.
It's funny because literally 3 of our last thumbnails over the past week have all had Regal in it. So not much else has happened, but it is a big story,
Yeah.
Because obviously it was first, is Regal leaving? He might be leaving, and then it's he's definitely leaving. His contract ends this month or something, and then now it's like PW Insider reporting he's expected to go to WWE, which obviously was the assumption anyway. But now there's reports and stuff to back it up, so you can get into it a bit more. So obviously Regal going back to WWE, we'd assume it will be in a backstage behind the scenes role, very close to Triple H, and obviously Triple H is kind of still very, considering the role that he's in, he's very new to the role that he's in, taking over from Vince McMahon, planning 5 hours of TV every week. Apparently it's already kind of sending him a bit nuts. You can't really blame him. Like I said, 5 hours of TV taken over from that maniac Vince McMahon. It's a lot of work for anyone, even if the company was in the best condition possible. Never mind when Vince has released half your roster just before you take over. But yeah, Regal will be back. Obviously, he'll be helping Triple H. It'll be interesting to see how that will reflect on screen, and if the product will get better, if the products get worse, how they go about things, who they decide to push, who they decide to, give time to, etc., etc., etc. Maybe Regal won't help too much on creative, and it'll be more like talent relations or something like that. We don't know. What do you think Regal will be doing, Joe?
I know this is a lame answer for podcasting, but he'll do what Regal always does, which is everything, and that's why he's so valuable. He is on a short list of guys who are just great pro wrestling people.
Mm-hmm.
Any role, they're great at it. Their reputation speaks for itself. If you talk about on screen, Regal's been a great wrestler, manager, commentator, authority figure. Take your pick. Like that's who he is on screen. Off screen, I think his influence in terms of the guys that he's had hand in helping kind of goes without saying. So he's a huge addition for them. Now, I always think with WWE, the big question before was, does their structure operate in a way where a guy like him on the main roster, let's be clear, which is different to NXT, can he really be, truly helpful and do, impact things to his full capabilities in a structured system like WWE main roster? Well, this will be an interesting test because Triple H is now in charge. It isn't Vince's system.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like currently. Obviously, I'm not a reporter. So for a long time, it was like a ridiculous situation, right? Like 30 writers trying to put together Raw and Vince saying everyone's ideas were bad. And I don't know if that system would necessarily work with Regal just going around helping things. But if you imagine that Triple H wants to recreate the kind of internal structure of NXT, which I think would be a safe guess based on the fact that he wants to recreate everything about NXT. Obviously Regal was one of the key ingredients to that. I don't think anyone's talking out of turn to say it. Now, I think my read on this, and I said this last week, is like the perception for a while was, and so I heard, was that like Regal was having such a fun time in AEW that Triple H didn't even want to like go in that direction until he was ready. I think personally this happening now says a lot about how much Triple H feels he needs Regal. Doesn't want Regal. Not that he would like Regal. Both those things are true, obviously, too. But he actually, I think, actively needs him right now. Raw and SmackDown are better than they were before, but there is undeniably a shift in terms of that initial momentum is not where it was. I don't think that's going out. And look, I don't watch the shows close. I'm not saying they're bad. But from a perception of that's happened, right? Like they're not like people aren't doing weekly, celebrations of how great Raw was at the moment, from what I can see.
Yeah, it's kind of settled in now. Like we know, like
settled, yeah.
There's not going to be a bunch of DQs and matches are going to get time and stuff. It's like that novelty is definitely worn off. I guess the ratings are still,
they're doing good. Yeah,
they're still in like the post Vince bounce with the ratings and stuff. But just in terms of like quality and stuff like that, like you said, it's
they're not doing bad. I think there is a belief, and we've heard something. You just kind of allude to one there. It's like I think there's a belief that Triple H feels he needs him now. And there's things he's going to do in terms of helping Triple H specifically that like we won't even appreciate, but hopefully we'll make the shows better. So
Regal in fresh for Mania season, it's not a bad acquisition at all, is it?
No, it's not. It can help a lot.
Manny, what are you expecting Regal to do in the third?
Same thing Joe said, man. I don't really care.
That's not what I said.
I mean, he's gonna be there. I mean, he's just gonna help talent. He's gonna help create. He's gonna help Triple H come up with ideas since he can't do it himself. He's gonna just do the week to week. I mean, he's gonna just. I mean, he's gonna just take a load off him and just be the week to week guy. He's gonna be traveling. Hopefully the shows are better now that he's going to be there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. It's like I've said it a few times over the weekend. It's just, Triple H is probably better with like the big picture stuff. I want this wrestler to be my champion. I want to push this person. This is who I want to, this is who I want to be my mid-carders, blah, 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 that sort of stuff. Regal will help him more with like the details and quality control and, that kind of thing. So, hopefully there's a small difference on screen and, Triple H kind of has his bag of angles, that we've already circled through quite a few times already. So, yeah,
That's
just
a
a bit
big
more.
thing, though, man. I mean, you talk about detail. Like, look, people can dismiss it all they want. One of the reasons that fans, both in the buildings, but the online audience especially, really loves the bloodline thing too, which is not always the case, right? That kind of thing's going to be over in the building. They're on TV so much and they're pushed so well, like that will get a good reaction. But people online love it too because there are like details at play. Now, I don't know this for sure. It feels very apparent to me that Paulie has got like fingerprints on that stuff. Take that angle away and look at stuff that feels more like Triple H's creations. I think there is like a noticeable lack of those details and those layers and that nuance. So we talked about on one of these shows before about the War Games build. Like the women's War Games match was just like a loop of brawls. And then as the final month came down, he would just add people to the match to fill out the lineups. And there was never really much infighting or drama about where people stood. There wasn't these elements of like friction within the teams. Instead, it was just like, we're going to just brawl every week. And like that, we're going to get to War Games eventually, right? Like
100%.
So I think Triple H is a guy who's logical as a booker. And I think he understands where a sanctioned head and the natural end game and the kind of match to book. But yeah, I think details and adding layers to those stories is a big thing they struggle with. I think both bookers struggle with that because I'm not saying Tony Khan is adding having these sort of fucking incredible masterpieces.
Don't get me started.
I think they're similar in that way. So let's see if that changes. If it does, we'll know who to credit to. I think.
Drew, you want to take this super chat?
Yes. First of all, the idea of Hunter needing Regal was quite romantic. Fair. I expect this will make Excalibur jealous. But Joe is right. Thank you. Outside of Bloodline, which is generational, to be fair, what story is hot right now? It's a very good question. I don't watch close enough for Chi-Town Spurs to give you like a confident answer. Monty would be the best person on this show to do so. I don't know. What would you say? What story is hot right now?
House of Black versus the OC.
House of Black.
Oh, I mean the Judgment Day.
House of Black.
Judgment Day are hot, to be honest. So,
yeah. That you wouldn't say that feud is though, would you necessarily?
No. Really.
Is it ended now? Do you think?
Maybe because they've done the big 5-5 now.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Regal is I hope if he is in power, he brings in like a whole bunch of new faces and talent. Because man, I feel like the WWE. Oh, I mean, well, he's working Noah, brother. Come on, man. He's working on top. But then, because I know he helped with the idea of the Cruiserweight Classic, and he helped bring all those talents. I know people are gonna get real like mad about, oh, you can't be taking talents from other promotions and stuff like that. But just I hope he actually does that, and the people actually wrestle different kind of. They bring newer styles into WWE because it's just I feel like the product is stale. Besides, if you care about the bloodline stuff, but yeah.
It's interesting, definitely. I think I like almost all of the guys that are on the babyface team at War Games. But it was noticeable, and I didn't see this coming, to be clear. But watching it was noticeable that they were like supporting characters in the Bloodline story. Kevin was the main character.
And the tables.
But as much as, yes, the tables are very important. As much as I like Sheamus, and Drew is a hell of a professional wrestler, you can't say that, I don't know if you want them to be your top baby faces on your main brand. I put it that way. There's some vacancies there, brother. There's some space to make some guys. I think to Manny's point, they need to figure out who those guys are and get moving on that. It's hard. I think we just talked about pay-per-view main events. Like wrestling is an interesting place where there are hundreds of guys who can give you really good pro wrestling. There are even still a bunch of guys that give you great pro wrestling and excellent matches and such, but there are only a handful of guys that I think all of us would agree we're confident as top guys. It would be an honest, right? If you put us as a panel, you put candidates up there, upper mid card guys. Is this guy a real main event player? I think we disagree on a lot of them, and that's the challenge of it. You need to pick the right guy and give him the right push and see if it works. So it's a challenge on both sides of the fence, I think.
I guess. Bloodline babyface team was just like you said, there were supporting characters. You never really. It's not like we ever got the Sheamus shine where he's just whacking people and stuff. You know,
Right.
the Drew. Speaking of Drew, he's apparently he's not cleared, and he's missing whatever he was meant to be. He's gonna be Sheamus and Drew versus the Usos, which I was fired up for. Obviously, Drew hasn't been cleared, so it looks like he's gonna miss that on Friday now. Drew's neck's fucked. Like it's fucked.
That's what I'm saying. Look, we would have wanted War Games to look different, but even if you pretend it went great, it's like Drew's physically, feeling it.
Oh.
Sheamus, bless Sheamus. How old is Sheamus? He's not going to be able to do this forever, unfortunately. I wish he could be. I don't think he's going to be able to. And I bring this up because if we jump ahead to say Cody Rhodes wins this belt at WrestleMania, it's like you're then going to have to program him every month. And who are your guys? Like who are you confident in? I don't know, Monty. You tell me. I mean, he's your guy, and you watch it closer than I do. I don't know. I don't know if there's a lack of names. A lot of names. Tell me, what do you think? Are there a lot of guys ready to go for Cody Rhodes as world champion pay-per-view programs?
Gunther.
Yep.
Gunther again.
Wait, what was the first name you said?
He said Gunther both times.
Oh, I think you said Punker, and I said, dang.
Oh,
thing,
Bobby Lashley's just turned heel, kind of.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Triple H.
It's interesting, man. We're probably forgetting a lot of people, but it's like main event scenes are not like loaded right now. They're just not. It's where we're at. Like, you can fix it, but you have to try to. Like,
there's definitely a then what? It's not as It's probably not as frightening as other people who could potentially beat Roman Reigns, But there is definitely a then what situation.
It's not a reflection of
whoever beats him, like Cody. So yeah, Cody's obviously kind of like the logical person you'd pick, I guess. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, when they needed a top babyface to come in when he came in, and it's like, okay, there's been a delay, but I guess if he comes back for the Mania season, wins the Rumble, you know what I mean? Kind of writes itself, but even when he wins, it's like, you can do the Gunther thing, you can do Bobby Lashley, probably sneaking Braun Strowman. I'm sure Cody could do something with that. That's the thing with Cody as well as a babyface. Like as a top babyface, I think he could get a lot of things out of very little, like a Braun Strowman, for example. As much as he pops me because he's just a huge meathead. I understand he's not like the most intriguing and the biggest draw at all for people.
Yeah.
But the idea of like Cody versus the monster, David versus Goliath, he's gonna get a dramatic story out of that.
I agree. I agree for sure.
I don't know, man. Like you said, Joe, there is like a lack of like tippy top guys. Like there's top guys you can throw into a TV main event and shit. Do you know what I mean? Like there's loads. There's fucking more of them than ever. Do you know? But actual tippy top guys, it's slim pickings these days. Real quick, we've got a couple of super chats. Sorry, man. Trips outside Regal's house in the rain, wearing both a leather and denim jacket, playing Motorhead out of a boombox.
Whatever it takes,
$5. Appreciate it. Yeah.
For a lovely game. Shout out to Ben. I think Ben was with me for the whole 24-hour stream on Friday.
He's a good guy, man. He's always popping up in our pods and stuff. He's great. Plethora, again, $1.99. Appreciate it. Besides Cody, what's your favourite Malachi feud?
Tony Khan.
Besides Cody is kind of unnecessary, to be honest, because that feud was a fucking mess, man. He had the first match is awesome where they do the squash deal. After that, you have the thing where like Malachi forms a faction with Andrade and FTR just for like a couple weeks to support himself. And then they have the match with Pac at the pay-per-view, the tag match, which is like a bonkers pro wrestling match. The Death Triangle thing went on forever and ever and ever. It had some bad angles in it, some really bad. The matches were but the angles were crazy in that. What was the best Aleister Black program in WWE? Did he have programs?
Not on the main roster, but in NXT, I guess you would say.
I see every week on Twitter the Ciampa thing get posted. Maybe Ciampa.
Problem with that is he was very much like the third character in the Ciampa
Yeah,
Gargano thing. He
it was
wasn't
really
like,
well. I thought it was really well done and stuff the way that
Yeah.
they've done that. But it was just like Malachi was just the guy who had the belt. Do you know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
Yeah. absolutely.
You know, he kind of fell second place to that storyline in the end.
And when he beat Andrade, it was very much like he just had like a couple weeks build and he just beat him.
Yeah, I was gonna say like even Andrade, it wasn't like some super memorable feud.
So I didn't watch NXT at the time. What was Nikki Cross to Malachi? Was he like a manager or something like that? Because
no, she like just was
part?
The one who was aware of what happened, right? I think was the idea. And she had that. She like that was the story, right? She had this. She knew what happened. Why don't you remind me of this, please? She that's what she was doing. Like, I have a secret.
They had that weird thing when they would like sit down. You know, that he would sit in the middle of the ring and Nikki Cross would like.
I forget this stuff.
Being
old.
Yeah, good times though. Black and Gold NXT. He had a really good match with Gargano as well, if I remember correctly, on one of the takeovers. I'm sure there was probably a Velveteen Dream match in there as well because he was.
That was actually probably the answer. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. How many kickouts were in that Johnny Gargano match?
I don't know. I don't remember it, but I guess him and Buddy.
I don't think that was one where Gargano went insane, to be honest. Because Gargano, it varies. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like so absurd. Then like other times, you know, it'll be pretty normal. You know.
Yeah.
But when he goes for his epics, he loves a good kick out. You know.
I think him and Cole was the pairing where they really liked.
Yeah, that was when people like fucking. That's when you had 13-year-olds on Twitter pointing it out and shit.
Those matches got a lot of I haven't seen all of them matches. I don't think one of them. Didn't Dave give like 5 to most?
He give one of them like 5.25. I'm sure he did. Yeah, I know.
I don't think I saw it. So
Cody Willis 199. Nick Aldis wins the Royal Rumble with William Regal in his corner. Union Jack flag. Pop.
What's up, Cody?
I'll do a 24-hour stream if we do that, man. If that happens.
Wow, really going on a limb there, Chief.
Bro, I'm not trying to do that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cody. Nick. Fuck. That just threw me off. Sorry, Cody. Nick is going to be in the fleet in a couple of months.
That seems to be the obvious outcome here, which is very funny for a range of it. That just is a funny idea.
What do you... I don't...
He's just going to slide into the Cody slot.
Keep telling me that... AEW Nick Aldis is like this pairing that's gonna happen. Like, I feel like I don't know.
Tony kind of wanted him.
Bro, everyone's getting signed.
I know, he might get signed. I'm saying, I think he might be going to New York.
Pop still.
Well, either way, it's funny, isn't it? What do you want from me here? Cody's pitching fucking Regal in his corner. You know, we're in an look. Yeah. I don't know. The chat's about right now. Colby Carino has been signed by WWE. It appears. Shouts Colby Carino. He's working very, very hard. He's a good wrestler. But it's like, it is a crazy time right now. Not necessarily because Colby got signed, but just generally. This was the point I was going to make regardless. Like, we have two guys.
My thing was like, why AEW? Because I think like WWE seems like more.
Well, there's one guy.
Triple H, you know?
There's one guy who still works there. Well, I don't think he does much anymore, who has a real interesting relationship with Nick. I don't know if Bruce is still doing a lot there, but that was a thing for a while.
I'm telling you, Monty's gonna pop when you're gonna be like in the stadium. They're gonna be like, "What's that sound?" And it's like, "Oh, something's going on outside." And then like, "Oh shit, a helicopter's coming." And then Nick Aldis is gonna come out, and he's
helicopter.
Like, oh, yeah. Wow. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Works.
Oh, yeah.
It's more the idea of it than the way you said it. I mentioned that on the podcast where he talked about the NWA, he was like. He goes, so not the end. Yeah, he really buried Corgan and all that stuff. And he's like, you're telling me and Drew can't do some business together? With the rivalry between the Scots and the English. I was like, let me tell you something. I don't know how fucking good that shit would be, but Monty and I could do some content with that. Them doing a program on Fox in the USA about the rivalry between the English and the Scots and fucking Aldis cutting promos about it would be... It'd be a riot. I don't know if it'd be any good, but it'd be pretty fucking funny if you ask me. So I'm in on it. I haven't got a problem with this. But we'll see. Schedule feels like a challenge for Nick to me. In WWE.
There you go. I got it.
Uh-oh.
Nick Aldis with the pairing of JR doing a tear through AEW.
Oh my god!
And in JR saying this is the real world champion.
Yeah,
And
real
then
wrestler.
you go and you build it up to MJF, and then there you go. You got your NWA title match. I mean AEW World Title match.
My god, you'd hate all of
The
that. Which is the
Revolution.
funniest part you pitching it is you'd hate all of that.
Manny,
Imagine JR coming out of the helicopter with them.
Manny, this is WrestlePurists Worldwide. Sometimes there's a lot of Fed talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that makes Manny very bored, and he has to sit here and go and listen to us go over things. I ask him things like, what does he think of Regal going to the Fed, and he has to try and think of an answer on the spot, you know? So what do you want to talk about, Manny, before I get into this WrestlePurists Awards stuff? Talk about anything you want.
Well, I don't know if you want that, but...
Criminal Minds.
Yeah. Within wrestling, ideally, if possible.
Look, bro, I'm gonna keep it honest, bro. I'm not really. There's nothing really in wrestling that's like keeping my interest because I mean, that like I want to sink my teeth into. I would have been like going. I would have been fighting real hard to make this like since I'm a big ROH guy, like an ROH show. But then I saw the ROH card and I said, "Fuck, man, I don't even want to go anymore." But I already have the weekend off.
It is tough, man. It is tough because you know.
Yeah,
all three of us in here were like fucking Ring of Honor forever. Honor never died. Do you know what I mean? Like, we was all depressed when it was going out of business, and Tony Khan bought it, and we was like, "Oh, he's gonna do some cool shit with it," and he hasn't. And now we're left. Now we're left with. I hope the TV deal comes.
Last show was a good time, man. The last show was good.
Oh yeah, I mean, look,
that was a really good show.
The one thing I will say about Criminal Minds is I feel like I can investigate serial killers and do all that stuff. I feel like I'd be during the show. I'd be like walking around like Dr. Reed, just be like, "What are the clues? What am I missing?"
Mate, when you watch too much Criminal Minds, man, you'll start talking to people on podcasts and trying to like spot the sociopaths and stuff like that. You know.
Oh, fuck. Wrestling media would give him some fucking material. Let me tell you, that'd be a ride.
And then we can talk about Deion Sanders going to Colorado. And then telling the kids, "Hey, man, I'm bringing my own guys. You guys got to leave."
There you go, folks.
Well, no, let me just ask the chat. How many people watch us like on their TV? Like
Cody,
not on, yeah, that's what I just saw. I just saw Cody just tagged us in a tweet. And he sort of like, you know, we're on the big screen, brother. You know, we ain't on no phone screen, no laptop screen. I wonder who watches us like on TV. So if you do watch us on your TV, put it in the live chat. But what was I going to say? Should we just talk about these WrestlePurists Awards? Should we just get this out of the way?
Thanks, Hollywood.
Tri-Town. I just saw Pulp Fiction. Really great movie. Like,
I've heard that.
I'm a genius. You know,
Heard good things, brother. Heard good things. Yep. Some TV talk there. Poor Monty's.
I wish I lived in a world like Quentin Tarantino. I want to see what kind of role I would have, or like what. I think I'll get killed within like the first like 5. I feel like I'll be one of the guys that's like getting like tortured. Like I didn't do it. I don't know who it was, and then just getting shot.
The quote he had where Tom Segura was like, "Do you watch your own movies?" And he was like, "Of course not. I make them for me. I just love people experience them."
Bro,
do you know how many people would never admit that and just be like, "No, they're too humble to." That's fucking awesome, man.
When he said that, I said, I don't know if I told you guys. Like, I'm pretty sure I told him I write my reviews for myself, my features for myself, and then he just has to like edit them to where like my creations can go out to the world. But like that's how it is. It's just like
incredible.
When he said that, I hit my desk where I work. And I said, "Fuck yeah, bro! He's just like me, man.
He's just like
me. Quentin Tarantino, one of the best
directors. Right, like my Hooper of the Week graphic this week, bro. It's insane, right? Like it's just like
it's just for you, you know. We'll get to Hooper of the Week. We'll get there. Yeah, so this WrestlePurists Awards talk because I want to do it and kind of like, especially the audience that comes here for WrestlePurists Worldwide. You know, that's the real family, the real tight family right there. Kind of talk through what we're actually doing. First of all, though, we do have another super chat from Darren Walker, £5. Appreciate you as always. In WrestlePurists Awards, who will win WrestlePurists Podcast of the Year? Anna and Hangman, my faves, but love you guys too. Imagine if we started doing podcasts earlier.
I would like pretend I didn't care, and within like a week would be very invested in this, you know. I actually think about it a lot because I think if there were actual wrestling media awards, I definitely would have won a couple. I think it's bollocks. There is none, you know. Like, I'll be real with you guys. I'd fucking love an award. If we can come up with some awards I could win, I wouldn't win this one because there are much bigger names and impact players on this channel. But if we could come up with like
best British podcaster with a glowing mic award,
then we're talking. Yeah, I'm with you. Then we're
talking. What inspired the new mic, Joe?
You know, new me, bro. New year.
Do you not miss the
no
being able to?
The other one, you broke the other one, which is unfortunate. Remember, you made me do a Thursday show. Mic broke immediately, and I think I just, you know, you have to evolve.
I didn't even know that.
You have to evolve.
You must have forgot to tell me.
I don't know if you heard of Chris Jericho,
but
he mentioned sometimes, you know, you have to have different incarnations, you know.
No, I said that once or twice.
Back in the day, folks, we used to have long hair. In the olden days, over on a different website, Fightful.com. I don't know why I said like I couldn't say their names. We're not that heated.
Bro, I bet there's so much of like the WrestlePurists audience that has not seen you with long hair.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Hair. And then we shot an angle. We shot an angle where I shaved my hair. Then at one point my mic broke, so I started holding it the way you guys used to see me do it here. You know, we always got a year or two out of it. Can't keep doing it forever, mate. You got to move on some point. You know, you got to have a new chapter in your career. And then I had the shirts was a new thing, right? Now we have this. Always add Pete strings to your bow, folks. Don't settle. I say it to Manny all the time. Don't settle. Bring up Criminal Minds.
Oh, I got a question. Do you guys consider the radio shows podcasts, or podcast is something else entirely?
They're pretty much the same, but they're not technically the same. Podcasts go on to what's it called?
We don't do podcasts.
HT. No, we do the Thursday. The Thursday we upload as an actual podcast.
It's still not a podcast. It's wrestling conversational content. It's its own genre.
Fuck you, man. Anyway, WrestlePurists Awards. So this year, 2022, we're doing our first lot of end of year WrestlePurists Awards. It's something I've wanted to do pretty much ever since I was first starting WrestlePurists. To be honest, I've always wanted to do like
so why you create
an awards. I wanted to do like an award system that is different to what's available now, because a lot of the big websites, so like say I'll take No DQ as an example. Like they do end of year awards, but it's just kind of like an open vote. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally like they'll tweet a link, and all these people from wherever will vote. Do you know what I mean? It's very open sort of thing. You know, it doesn't take. I mean, nothing against them. I'm sure loads of people vote on it, but it's not like a lot of effort goes into it. It's not very quality controlled or anything at all, either. You know. What are you giggling at now, Joe?
Fucking Ben. Ben just kicked the shit out of me with a super chat. Much like Jericho, the same content the whole time. Factual, correct. I haven't even done the Judas effect bit yet either. I haven't even had any new offense, you know. Just like,
but yeah,
good stuff. Sorry, Monty.
The whole like awards thing. So there's places like No DQ, there's places like the other places. I'm sure there's loads of different awards that all the big websites do for end of year, and it'll typically just be like an open poll sort of thing. And then you get the other ones like. Obviously, the biggest example would be like the Wrestling Observer Awards. One thing I didn't like about those is that there was like such a restriction on it. So if you're not a subscriber to the Observer, then you don't get a vote. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like that either. And I think Fightful Select have just started doing voting for their end of year awards, and that's kind of like the same thing. So it was just kind of like, how can you balance it out so you have like a real kind of like, you get the fan vote, but you can also get like, you know, your critics, other wrestlers. Always wanted to do something like a wrestler of the year. So that's what we're doing. Basically, we're going quite ambitious with the awards that we're doing. So we're doing 16 end of year awards, which will be voted for by the fans, by media, and by wrestlers. There's been a series of tweets that we've done over the past week. I'm sure most of the people who are watching this have seen them. And we've been collecting like potential nominations underneath those tweets. Now that I've started collecting who the most replies were, that's how we're going to get our like list of nominees. Once we've got our list of nominees, there will be an open poll on our website where fans can go to vote. We at WrestlePurists as well will also be like messaging members of media, messaging wrestlers, messaging critics, messaging just people in wrestling, getting their ballots as well. At the end of it, and we've got all the votes, we combine everything together, and whoever has the highest overall score will win each award. So it'll be a proper combination of everything. One of the coolest awards that we do, like I've already mentioned, will be the Wrestler of the Year, which will obviously be voted for by just wrestler. That is something that I've not seen in wrestling before.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which I find quite interesting that we've not seen it in wrestling before, because wrestlers are, you know, you get footballer of the year, player of the year, and like football and stuff like that. And wrestlers are a lot more, but let's be honest, they're a lot more accessible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I'm surprised no one's ever tried to do it. I get it's ambitious, and I'm gonna have to message a lot of wrestlers and stuff, and the team will help me and everything. But I think it would be cool to know who the wrestlers regard as the best wrestler in the world. I think the fans would find that cool to know as well. So that's a big driving force behind it, to do something different with the awards, so it's not just like every other award. We're doing the same thing with media critics as well. So who the media think the best wrestler in the world is, whoever comes out on top of that will get a separate award. Then there'll be a fans wrestler of the year. Whoever wins the poll will get the winner of that award. Then the overall winner, whoever has the highest percentage across like all three of those categories, will get the WrestlePurists Wrestler of the Year. That'll be like the undisputed number one wrestler in the world in our eyes. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting into it. The 16 awards are the 4 I just mentioned, which is obviously the Wrestler of the Year, the Wrestlers Wrestler of the Year, Media Critics Wrestler of the Year, Fans Wrestler of the Year. Then we'll be doing Women's Wrestler of the Year, Tag Team of the Year, Match of the Year, Show of the Year, Promotion of the Year, Booker of the Year, Best Non-Wrestler of the Year, Best In-Ring Worker of the Year, Best on Promos, Most Improved, Most Underrated, Rookie of the Year. I'm just in the middle of counting through the nominations. I know who the nominees are for Tag Team of the Year, Women's Wrestling of the Year, and Promo of the Year. And we will be announcing the nominees tomorrow or Wednesday, and that's when we will be opening voting.
How many nominees for each award, Monty?
I think we're going to go with 5.
So you already had the promos of the year? Like, which ones are...
The best promo of the year, not the actual promo itself, the person, not the actual promo.
The best promo of the year, yeah, like the best talker. Best.
Well, I'm gonna throw out a name, and by your facial reaction, I want to see if he's on there. Is the greatest Canadian promo Daddy Magic Matt Menard on there?
No, he's not. A couple people did suggest him, but just obviously nowhere near enough. Since there was like 80 people in here, I'll ask the chat. I'll reveal the nominees to one of the awards, either Promo of the Year, Women's Wrestler of the Year, or Tag Team of the Year. So whichever one the live chat goes with that we see the most, I'll reveal the nominees for that award.
Chat, ask for Promo, because that sounds like a genuinely, I don't know which way to go on that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the promos, and plus I already like tried asking for it anyway, so I think we should just go with the promo.
The candidates on the other two feel more apparent to me. The promo one, I don't know what that. I'm trying to even think of who the shortlist would be for me. You know, I think we could get tag team, especially. You can guess. Intrigued.
Promo.
Because to be fair, Manny, Matt Menard did have some great promos.
Matt Menard is a great promo.
I'm never gonna forget that post Blood Guts where he was like, he missed his child's first steps because he wanted to support Jericho, and he's just covered in blood while he's doing it. I'm like, fuck, man, put the world title on him.
Right, Joe. So we'll go with promo because that's been what the majority have said in the live chat. So
what are the chances?
It's funny how you think it's going to be like you're quite intrigued, but like I think the answers are like I think the nominees are really obvious. So the nominees are MJF, CM Punk, John Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Jay White.
Hooper's.
I'll be honest. We're just talking here, right? Just guys talking. Watch Dumb Guys live tomorrow on this very platform. See similar things. I love Eddie Kingston. I don't think he has had many opportunities to cut great promos this year.
He hasn't. I think it's more just people are so endeared and love him so much. It's just like Eddie,
and I
obviously.
Do too. Like... he should be on the list, but I can't vote for him even though I'd like to. Punk missed a lot of time. I actually think Moxley is kind of a slam dunk, to be totally honest.
Yeah. So this is like my take on it. I don't watch enough New Japan to know what Jay White is talking about on there. Like the only problem I can still think he's cut was just the one from 2 years ago after the Dome, and then
he closes a lot of shows. You know, he does the presses. But I got you. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh no, the other one was when the Good Brothers came out and they did the cheers, and then Eddie Kingston.
He was cutting good promos in Impact and shit, bro. Like Jay White's just.
I agree with the Eddie Kingston one because I mean he hasn't really cut anything memorable. And Punk, he was out for a while, but I do think his promos when he did cut them, they actually like stuck with you.
Here's the problem with Punk. And now, folks, let me stress, I'm a CM Punk fan, but the thing that knocks Punk is the time he was around, a month of it was that Hangman feud, which was objectively weird. Then, now, forever, that shit was weird. Like, we were talking about at the time, like, what are the story they're telling here? Clearly, the reason it was weird.
Well, I watched it again the other day. It's so weird.
It's such a strange segment.
You know, when Hangman's cutting that promo and he's right in Punk's face, and Punk's, he's poker facing him.
Yeah.
Punk staring right into him. And when when Hangman mentions the workers' right thing, Punk does this head tilt like.
Yeah, it's weird. Super weird.
So this is the cool thing about like awards like that, and when you're like a nerd like us, it's just like because all these are great promos, but at the same time, now you got to eliminate who you're going to vote for. So then you have to pick you got to pick certain promos from each guy, and you have to dissect each one. You're like, okay, how did this move? How did this end up like moving along the feud, and overall, how did it affect certain things? Like to me, that's what rules about it. And then you got 5 all-stars,
Yeah, they're all good.
So it's kind of hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
I honestly think Moxley is like I think he's the obvious choice because he's the guy who cut them at like a high quantity. He has ones that stand out. His promos are consistently good, and he had a bunch of them I thought were great. He has the best promo, I think, of the year that was like, because you have to, when you say the best promo segment, like there's a lot that goes into that. Like Eddie's got some great pre-tapes, but the segment I'll remember most was certainly, his promo after all that. Yeah, I think that was one of the more memorable promo segments in AEW history. So
yeah, I think that's like, I wrote one of my best features on that, and I felt like I feel like that was such like an important moment for wrestling this year. Because I remember if you all the wrestling Twitter was just kind of down on what happened between the Elite and Punk, and then I remember everybody just like I remember people on Twitter saying that they were like emotional, crying, like because what Moxley went out there and said. And I really felt like he kind of put the wrestling world on his back for that one day. For I feel like it's the most important promo of the year.
Just real quick before we get back onto these, super chat from my King 199 has asked us the movie question that seems to split the whole movie fandom.
I ain't doing it.
I ain't doing it. Our superhero movies played out. I mean,
did you see the Marvel quote about that?
Bro, Pete, I'll just say one thing about it. Like, I'm not a big movie guy, like especially nowhere near someone like Joe who watches like movies every week. I think when superhero movies are good, people aren't bringing this up. But when they're garbage, like they have been lately, according to critics, it gets brought up a lot. So,
that's what Marvel said. And now they're gonna reevaluate their next phases because like they want to focus more on quality than quantity, like they've been in the last couple of years. So like man, they listen to Tarantino, they listen to Scorsese, and like man, we're getting beat up out here.
It does pop me when Scorsese goes on these. I don't know. There's just something I relate to. It used to be better guys,
Look, man, they kicked the shit out of Martin Scorsese. I ain't saying shit about this topic in a public forum. No way, ain't doing it. Like what you like, folks. Right?
Absolutely.
Like
Joe, did you see the trailer I tagged you in for Nope that I cut up?
I did, yeah.
It popped me, and I've not even seen the film, bro. Like.
Did it not look like an alien movie?
Yeah, of course. I thought it was an alien movie. I've not seen it,
but it kind of is, though. Really, like in a lot of ways, it is an alien movie. We can't do this. You will spoil this film immediately. We cannot do that on here. But yeah,
because I forgot what the argument was over. Because I think I said I thought it was gonna really Scott's Alien, but it ended up being something completely different, and that's where you're arguing with me. Like, how? I think your argument was like, why do you even think that?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. My argument is what your main critique of the film is it wasn't exactly like another film that you wanted it to be like, which is an insane place to draw the line. But anyway, promo of the year. But
promo of the year. Obviously, they're the nominees that we said. I personally think that they're all 5 of them are all 5 people that I was not surprised to see get the most people recommend them in our replies, like at all. Yeah. Like even with Eddie, like what Joe said, it's a very valid point. It's like Eddie's not really had like this year where he's been able to go out there and cut 10-minute promos and have these really heartfelt like moments and stuff and really connect and stuff. Like he's been featured, not as much as I would have liked, but at the end of the day, it's Eddie and people love Eddie, so they're just going to vote for Eddie. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Yeah. But other people I think are worth mentioning.
Don't be like that didn't people, please.
Other people as well that got mentioned a lot but didn't quite make the nominees list, so I think are probably worth mentioning while we're on here are Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Hangman. So do you think any of those, in your opinion, do you think any of those are a better suit than any of the 5 that we've got?
What is the Hangman pro? I can't think of a Hangman promo that's memorable that he cut.
The one on Moxley weren't bad. Not that long ago.
It's a good promo. This is where it gets hard.
I think Hangman's quite a solid promo and he's good at coming across quite authentic, but I won't say he's never like lit me on fire. Do you know what I mean?
He had his best promo was the one before he won the belt, which was last year. So the problem with this is there's only one way to say this about. I can't really say about sound like an asshole. Like the way WWE does talking segments is so different to like what I would consider a wrestling promo. Sami Zayn
rely on different skills and shit, and it's like Sami's great at them because he's got good comedic timing and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't describe many of them as like promos. If that makes any sense.
When you said WWE, when you didn't mention any WWE names as the nominees, it kind of made sense to me because I feel like when I do watch a WWE promo, it doesn't seem like a real conversation. It feels like, and obviously it isn't a real conversation. It just feels like people are just talking to get their one-liners out, like their catchphrase that they want to get over.
I think Sammy's great at making it seem more like a conversation than most things. But it is like the Bloodline segments are done like they're doing like a stage show. Like the way they like frame them and they all look towards the fucking camera, like it's like. And again, like I'm not saying it as a criticism; those segments are great, but it does feel like a different thing to like John Moxley just circling in the ring, ranting and raving.
Well, I don't blame you, Joe, for thinking that because I mean, like, remember in the early pandemic, people were calling freaking Roman Reigns community theater. So I mean, that's what it mostly feels like.
Cody Rhodes. That's one of the things that I liked about Cody when he first came into WWE. Because he'll stand in the middle of the ring and he'll just like talk. Do you know what I mean? He'll do a promo. Do you know? And
about Dusty,
even whether it's about Dusty or not. Do you know what I mean? But even in Vince's WWE, man, like he was his promos felt different,
Yeah.
because they were actual wrestling promos, and obviously it'll probably be the same when he comes back as well, because like that's what he'll do. Like within a week of him coming back, he's gonna have an open mic in the middle of the ring in a suit. He's gonna be walking around with his mission statement,
Dusty came back from worse, and this is nothing
I
compared
think-
to what he's come
I
back
think-
from.
Owens is the closest. Him and Cody are the closest to the guys who do like promos.
Owens loves to talk, bro. You know what makes me laugh in Cornet? I talk about like how Owens was like wouldn't shut up on promos. He'd be like, "You'll give him 5 minutes, and he'll be out there for 17."
He's a great promo. I think he's probably the WWE guy I would most push towards a slot.
Probably
I'm not
same.
sure if they would get one. It's hard. It's very much a formatting thing. I don't at all mean that as an indictment on any of the talent. I think the world of all those guys, especially Sammy. I mean, you can't argue with what Sammy's pulled off, right? But it is a different thing. I mean, how many times has Sammy even had the chance to talk on his own? Right? Like it's like they're always like this sort of, especially now they're always this collective. That stuff's always difficult. Like, do you reward a guy for? You take Sami Zayn example. Would his work in like skits and stuff building up to the Knoxville match, does that go towards this in your mind?
I mean, I guess so.
I guess, right? So it's like maybe
Yeah.
he should be. Owens maybe should be on there for the work he did with Austin at WrestleMania, the way he had to build that match kind of solo. It's difficult. I don't know. Was there any non-wrestlers that deserved to be on there, or was this purely for wrestlers? Was this purely for wrestlers?
I mean, a couple of people said Regal, but not enough where it was even like building up. Do you know what I mean?
I saw people say Paul Heyman, but I mean, like, come on, guys, you're supposed to talk, not look all bug eye when you do it.
Paul doesn't really talk as much anymore, right? Unless I
No, not really. No, not really.
He talks more with his eyes and like his like
yes, which
his
does
visual.
rule. In fairness, that
he's
does
just
rule.
a bit. Yeah, he's a cartoon, bro. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, there's not really promo of the year. There wasn't really anyone else who got too many votes. Who else have I got written down? Britt Baker, Ricky Starks, Zack Sabre Jr., LA Knight, and Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah, Rick Ross.
Interesting time we're living in, folks.
No, but
It's
when I say like literally like 3 replies, do you know what I mean?
Everyone stay safe out there, right?
Yeah, but obviously
Holidays.
the nominees kind of like obviously they had the majority of the replies, and the other 4 names that I mentioned after, they were probably the others. But those other names that I just mentioned literally have like 2, 3.
What about Jey Uso? Hangman and I always bring him up with good best promo guys. He's a good promo. He's the one who gets like fiery in the group, so which I appreciate.
Yeah,
Now that's interesting. The Briscoes, because all of their promos are on Twitter.com, but all of them fucking raw. And I remember I remember them individually. How does that work? Is that a thing?
I mean, bro, if it was Montel WP's fucking list of best promos, Jay Briscoe would probably be like.
Jay Briscoe's a great promo.
We can't add any more names because the Monterey typed them out. Once they're typed out, you can't go back.
Fair.
Who asked? Who asked in the chat?
No one. Just
there you go. Look, hangers in there. There you go.
Jay Uso, bro. Jay Uso. I like Jay. He's just a good professional.
Put him on the list then, Monty.
It's not up to me, bro. That's what I mean. Not getting hit.
Come on, bro. It's the integrity.
You know what I think will happen with the WrestlePurists Awards? Like, we'll give awards out, and we'll get hit with the Dave shit. In the sense of like people will think that like we've picked these people for the awards. It's like, no, that isn't what it is. Like, you voted for them,
Yeah. Right.
And the thing is as well, like people can't really like play. I'm trying to make it so people can play that card as little as possible, even though they always will because they're wrestling fans. It's like, there's no paywalls or anything on being able to suggest your nominations, which has been running the past week. There's going to be no paywall on the fucking website for the polls. And, when it comes to messaging the media and wrestlers, we're not just going to message people from one company. We've already messaged people from pretty much all over the place.
Just give me a list of names you want me to get in contact with. I'll get in contact with
Nigel McGuinness.
Well, you know.
I mean, if you're
We're
not
still
already
working
in
on that
contact with them, what's the point? You know what I mean? We'll just do it. We ain't gonna,
Slow Joe.
we ain't gonna get you to do that free labor, man. You know,
Man, he's
you
going to
got
send the
you got patients to look after.
Well, I'm already on to.
Bringing that up in this conversation was incredible play. Don't be DMing wrestlers, bro. You got patients to look after. What
I
other
don't know how to
awards
respond to that.
would you like to dive into while we're here? Got like 15 minutes. You need to dive into any of the other awards. You have to give the nominees. We could talk about it kind of loosely. You know, we could use it for wrestling conversational content.
Who do we think is gonna win Wrestler of the Year? You have to
Dax
guess
Harwood.
now.
Dax Harwood.
No, genuinely, you think
Dax
it'll be Dax?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think it might be Roman. You know.
No, I think there's too many dorks in there to vote for Roman Reigns.
It'll be
I heard
Dax
somebody-
Harwood because the WWE guys like Dax, and there'll be a lot of people that vote that aren't in WWE who would never vote Roman Reigns, would be my guess. Legitimately. That's my actual assumption. And I don't know, folks, full disclosure, I will not be talking to one single wrestler about this. I don't know who everyone is talking to. My guess, based on the wide net that will be, sent out in terms of getting people to vote, I will guess Dax will win the wrestler and will be very far from fans because we don't need to get into that here. But wrestler, I think he'll win, personally.
Over on someone Ring Rust said over on how many wrestlers block you.
Oh, come on, bro.
I'll be. No, we've got a lot of goodwill with wrestlers. You know, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
We've been spoken about once or twice in a few locker rooms. You know,
MLW.
as far as I'm
Impact.
aware, it's never anything too bad. You know,
Yeah.
bro, Manny, did you see BT? He done the whole NBA fucking match free coverage thing.
I don't watch that shit.
Yeah, I know, but like, did you see? I put it in. I don't watch that shit either. But like, did you? I put it in the group chat. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, with Garcia and Private Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked on it, and then as soon as I saw what it was, I just exit off Twitter and I said, I don't need to see that, man.
Up to you.
My days of watching BT are long over.
It's so. One thing with BT is like, even when I've given it a chance, it's like I've said it a million times, man, but I prefer when it's just like a vlog, just like a travel vlog, just following around the elite, like when it's just that genuine stuff, if that makes sense. Just behind the scenes stuff. That's what fans want to see. I don't want to see them like trying to be funny and shit. Like I don't find them funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not my kind of comedy, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I once said they're not funny, but it's like it's not my thing. It's not my thing. Bam, $2 need Big AO to drop that Dax story soon. I mean, get onto him about it, you know? I don't know what it is.
That story. I mean, look, man.
Dax is a good man, you know?
Bam, I don't know if you want that story dropped because it's going to change the way you view wrestling altogether. And
Amazing. Tremendous.
Yeah, this is Emin said, you know, he's not a super chat, but we'll let it slide. You know, BT is not funny at all. They should stick to the log.
Monty was like, "Wait, this disagrees with me completely." Just immediately put this on the screen.
Yeah, so we got to do. Emin's good. He normally says super chats and stuff anyway. So.
No, it's not. Emin's comments fight. It just put me. You immediately pulled out on the screen. Like, here we go. I told you it wasn't just me.
I'll get bro. There's only so much unfunny.
Tremendous.
See, I don't even like this shit, man. The only BT bits were worth watching was the Dark Order stuff. It's like, I don't know about that, man.
Go watch a novella, man. Come on, do something. You know, you don't need to watch this.
Stuff it. Manny, should we do Hooper of the Week?
Oh yeah.
Let's do Hooper of the Week. How do you want me to play it this time? You
can just play the intro, and then we can just put the picture up. There's not really.
I can't play the intro anymore because of the.
No. I just put up the Hooper graphic, and then we can go. There you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Hooper of the Week. There wasn't really. I could have gone with the usual Dax or Brian, but then it's not gonna be fun. So then I was going to I went to WWE and I started watching highlights from matches because I'm not gonna watch the full thing, and I went off highlights. And the winner of the week is bum ba bum the OC. Oh, come on, Monty.
Holy shit. Oh,
Yeah.
Bro, the first draft that Money sent me only had Machine Gun on it. He didn't have anyone else on it.
unbelievable.
And then, you see
man.
Dark Gallows. That's supposed to be him, inside the Gundam, trying to save AJ Styles from the Alamo.
My God. That is
Oh, and
wow.
okay. So the real funny thing was, the first idea was, for some reason, I said, what would it look like if somebody was chopping Jesus? And then for some reason, the machine gun popped in my head because the machine gun chops. And then once I couldn't get that visual out, I said, man, I must really make this graphic. And then I popped real hard when I saw the graphics. And then I was going to send it to Joe just to see if I'll pop him in the DMs. And then I was like, you know what? I want to get his actual reaction. So I made it. I decided to make it.
We need to get
the
this
graphic.
to Cole. We need to get this to Cole, I feel. I think this should not just be restricted to this program. You know what I mean? This is something special. I appreciate this, Manny. I feel this was a very kind gesture on your part towards me. It's the holiday season. The machine gun. Carl Lance, the never open weight champ, by the way. I don't know if you've heard about that. Michael Cole brought up a time or two. Incredible work, man. This is just beautiful. What a piece of art.
This is funnier than BT.
Well, so I think that one may get some mixed reviews for a range of reasons. But
Oh yeah,
I thought it was very funny.
Art class with Manny the Hooper. Yeah.
Really
I know. As soon as I put Carl chopping G's, I said it's probably gonna pop like a minority of people, but then it popped me, and I say, that's all that matters.
Yeah, you doing that in the same image as AJ Styles is incredible. I assume you're gonna at him in this at some point, which will be something. He's not particularly online. So.
Actually, you know what, Joe? You know what, Joseph Fulber? Another an award.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you about.
Oh yes.
Who would you
say
was in the running for most improved?
Most improved wrestler. Now, there almost certainly are really strong candidates. The first one that comes to mind, because it pops me, and I don't know where they were at in January, is Solo Sikoa, who we've seen improve in the last 5 months, let alone year.
Mm-hmm.
I have a high-end one that is kind of... I don't think it's a good pick, but it's something I want to talk about, so I'm going to bring up anyway. Because this guy entered the year as a really good wrestler. I think he's added so much to his game this year, and I think, unfortunately, his booking as of late has undercut him. I think Daniel Garcia became like a actual polished TV wrestler this year. Now, again, he entered the year as such a good worker that he shouldn't win it necessarily. But I thought his growth as like a shit talker and a presence on the TV show was incredible in 2022. I just wish the booking had capitalized rather than kind of reverting him back. The Acclaimed hard, as Ring Rust brings up, because they kind of... I think Max is the one who's improved, but Bowens is so much of the like strengths of that team as a promo and a worker that it feels kind of he's improved too. It feels unfair to split them that way.
The Acclaimed are definitely eligible. I think they'll probably get nominated. To be honest, I think
as a team you want to nominate them, yeah. All right, I would say they should win it then easily. Yeah, they should definitely win it because the Acclaim were a fun act coming into the year, but there was not, to me anyway, a lot of like meat on the bone in terms of being a top team. I didn't see it. I would regularly say like I couldn't see them having a 20-minute tag time match on pay-per-view, and they literally had not just a 20-minute tag time match, they had like an epic 20-minute tag time match on pay-per-view. So yeah, I think the Acclaimed are the right pick actually. I'm trying to think of any other obvious ones. Is there any in WWE that come to mind? I know I mentioned Solo, Sheamus.
43 years old. I'm trying to think.
Tiff Strat.
Tiff Strat, obviously.
Well, I mean, she came out, a really great already. So
Is she like best rookie candidate? How long has she been wrestling? Has she been wrestling a year?
I think she would class as the best rookie candidate because it was so late last year. It's like Bron Breakker. We're counting Bron Breakker because it's like anyone from like September onwards in 2021. They obviously didn't have a fair contention.
Well, Bron has to win that, right?
So you give him the Ben Simmons leeway.
Yeah.
Who are the other people?
What about Hook?
Dude, Brian, I like Brian's one. Angelo Dawkins is a good pick, man.
Angelo's great, yeah.
That guy really, really leveled up this year. I saw a couple of his singles match.
He's the most improved, by the way. We're not saying
yes, to be clear, not Ricky. Sorry, my bad. His match with Seth, right? Singles match.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressive what he could produce in a singles setting. I agree. It's a really good call.
Right? Of course. And you want to know who might beat Brian for Rookie of the Year?
Who?
Logan.
Oh, come on. It's ridiculous.
Bro.
No,
it's WWE. Silly. It's WWE. And people are so, like, people will vote for him, bro. I'm telling you.
Logan was very impressive, did an incredible job, but he's had 2 matches, hasn't he? 3 matches.
Had 3 matches.
How many matches? Braun wrestles like every week, doesn't he?
No,
come on,
bro, I get what you're saying. I'm guessing the people.
What, do you want to fight about?
I mean, that's what it's got to come to. I'm guessing the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
You also remember it's also WWE, so
That's what I mean. It's WWE. It's Logan. He did genuinely have especially in WWE fans' mind, like he had a match of the year contender with Ryan.
Some people maybe the greatest match in WWE's history.
Some people probably yes. Some people think a lot of things. Yeah. Does Cole Anderson qualify for most improved based on the fact that he started caring again in the last 2 months of the year, or is that a different thing? I don't know, man. That was a big moment for Cole in his year there,
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Other people are most improved. Some people were saying Jamie Hayter. But she just kind of it's not like she's got leaps and bounds better as a wrestler or anything. She just got over as people.
Definitely got more consistent though on TV.
A lot of people, obviously Tiffany, obviously, Angela, that Mina Shirakawa from Stardom. Apparently she's come along loads this year. A lot of people are mentioning her in the reply, so it wouldn't surprise me she made it to the nominees.
Oh, Fujiwara.
Yeah, Fujiwara. Yeah.
Shout out Murph.
Of course.
Dumb Guys Live tomorrow, folks. This channel here. It's a great show.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man. Hopefully I'll have the nominees all written down tomorrow. I'll know who they are.
All right, mate.
Everyone will know who they are by Wednesday, probably. And yeah, man. Let's get out of here.
Did anybody Kenta and Speedball happen?
Yeah.
Oh shit, man! What the hell? There might have actually been... Well, you know what? Never mind. I don't regret my choice for Hooper of the Week. That was a funny graphic.
It got pretty good reviews, actually. Didn't get crazy buzz, but he got some solid reviews. I saw some people saying it was great. I saw that some people saying it was very good. So,
happy days, man. I'm sure Manny will watch it at some point this week. Yeah.
No, I won't. I probably won't.
No, we won't. Yeah. What if we bet you that you won't, and we get angry and watch it like you did with Kazarian versus Alex?
Well, look, this is gonna happen. I have to get my game film ready for ROH and dissect what's going on. So I'm gonna have to put on some Shane Taylor tapes.
Fair. That's fair.
Watching loads of Shane and JD.
Are you guys familiar with JD? I don't know. I feel like
I looked him up. I think he just got a cage match profile, and he has two people voted on his account, and he has 2 10s.
But good for him.
So
Tony Khan's been voted.
Before we get out of here, Manny, you got anything you want to plug?
You can follow me along on Discord while we do my Criminal Minds watch along. Actually, don't do that. We're not actually doing that. You can follow me on Twitter. I do shit on Twitter sometimes, or I mean all day.
Really not.
I do. Though. I do the late night grin on Wednesdays. We do a live stream.
On Wednesdays.
On Wednesdays, we do
the grin alongs.
Yeah. We do a Dynamite watch along where we just talk about how we feel about the show and give live reactions.
Yes.
It's gonna be a hoot this week with Samoa Joe and Darby Allin.
True. Manny, can we agree now on the air that even if that match is like not good somehow, we just pretend, right? We have to pretend.
Oh, I already have it at 5 stars locked in.
I might be a little extreme, but look in a 4 and a quarter.
I already pictured Darby doing the dive and Samoa Joe just walking away from
in that spot. Yeah, he may just do it right into the barricade because he's fucking nuts. They may actually just do it like that blunt,
Yeah,
he just does dive directly into the fucking barricade. I don't
know.
And
then he gets busted open the heart, he's just bleeding everywhere.
He usually does. Yeah.
Joe, you got anything you want to plug?
Not really. I just want to thank, a lot of people kind of came over for the 24-hour stream we did on Friday, Late Night Grin. In particular, the currently on hiatus. Both of you gentlemen were there, right? That's different points. Currently on hiatus, but Backup Hangman broke that. He came on. He was on for, I believe, it was like 5 hours. Hangman was on the 24-hour stream. And,
it's when I was ill, I remember looking. Thought I was in a fever dream at one point. I looked, it was Joe, John Alba, Backup Hangman, and Jack Crosby on the screen.
And then Bob came back for a second there.
Oh my god. I'm so mad that you didn't upload that clip today, that video. Or I've been waiting for you to upload the Jack Crosby, Hangman.
Oh, that's all you gotta get. So this is a part. If Hangman's still a problem. So we put a clip from his Twitter of WCW on the screen, and the WWE actually copyright claimed it. So we have to edit it out of the video. So YouTube's now editing that so before I can upload it. It's like 30 seconds of content on when Hangman films his screen, that deal. We put that on the screen. So we have to edit that out, but it'll be up probably tonight. So yeah, that'll be at latenightgrin.com. But I want to thank everyone that came over. We raised, with the extra ones, we got to just shy of 2,000. So good shit, man. I appreciate everyone that came over. You guys were both there. It was a good time.
Joe.
Joe, 24-hour stream, raised just under 2,000. Was it dollars or pounds? Did you say dollars for I believe it was a dementia charity,
Lewy body dementia,
which is it's something that means a lot to a lot of us at WrestlePurists and like going for a variance of reasons. It's something that can. Dementia, especially, is something that you wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's something that a lot of people deal with, and unfortunately, a lot of people will know someone at least secondhand. What I mean, that'll be going through it, or know someone very close to them that is. So, it's a very great thing that Joe did. Obviously, put in 24 hours to do it. I think he's nuts. I don't know how he does it, but he's a good kid. Good worker,
24 hours of wrestling talk, brother. I only get that in this weird circle, let me tell you.
You must enjoy it somewhat,
I had a great time, man. Yeah. It honestly was not that hard, bro. I hit the wall 21. 21, I hit the wall, and then we put on fucking Necro and Joe and was like, we're cool. We're fine. We didn't work out.
What, just on loop?
We started watching it on the screen, and then Jay Shell came on and had fucking NXT trading cards.
Oh, yeah.
So that got us home, man. It was a good time.
I miss Joe Show, man. I haven't done a show with Joe Show in ages.
We changed that soon.
She's in the WrestlePurists Divas chat. No, she's super busy and stuff. So you know what I mean. I get it. But it's like she was meant to come on the 1 week, and I sent her the StreamYard link or anything because she didn't manage to come through. But yeah, man, we miss Joe Show at WrestlePurists. She's one of the founding members.
She was a pillar, wasn't she? That's the thing, right?
That's what I mean. But unfortunately, she got a life.
The pillars? Am I right to say the pillars were you, myself, Ibu, and Jay Shell? The initial pillars in concept. When you were putting down the
absolutely, 100%.
Creating the PowerPoint presentations that we all got.
Yeah,
It's changed
100%.
now, folks. It's changed now.
Oh, it's all over.
I'm
the place,
still an
man.
EVP, but other than that, things have
We're
changed.
all over the place. But yeah, we're gonna let you guys go if you want to watch Raw or whatever.
Owned.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, good luck with that 3 hours. That's a challenge, even if you are a WWE fan. Yeah, tomorrow Dumb Guys Live, Thursday WrestlePurists podcast, Friday on Purist, Sunday we'll probably be back again with the Divas. Last night we done a Divas podcast, so if you want to go watch that, we barely had any time to promote it yesterday, so yeah, it was a bit of a weird one. We literally decided we was doing it 2 hours before, so yeah, man. Obviously support everything we do, subscribe, always appreciate the super chats. Hit us up on the Discord, links in the bio, all that good stuff. And us three will catch you either throughout the week or next Monday for WrestlePurists Worldwide. And
Sweet.
we'll catch you on the other side.